Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Miss Phins Show. I am your host, Miss Phins. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming through. You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to ask. Go ahead and do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, and hit that like button. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button and subscribe today. Thank you for coming through. As always, you guys already know. Let's go ahead and keep it clean, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, families to watch the show, kids watch the show. So let's go ahead and keep it clean and be kind to each other because, why not? It's good for everybody. It's good for the world. It's good for the soul. So let's continue that, guys. Also, too, go ahead and join the family if you can. I get it, the economy. But if you can't, become a member of the show and the family. It really does help out the channel, guys. So thank you very much. You can catch Miss Phins Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, guys. And today we have a special show for you today. I'm so ecstatic. I'm so happy. I can't even believe it. Honestly, I was cheesing the entire time I was backstage. So I can't wait to go ahead and get this show started today, guys. But we had a great one for you. And like I always say, we win together, we lose together. Dolphins for life. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. We have somebody who is a literal Dolphins legend, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, don't worry, you're going to see him in a second. It is a literal Dolphins legend, ladies and gentlemen. The 25th overall pick in the 1993 draft by the Miami Dolphins. Absolutely fourth time highest receiving yards in the team. Man, this is I can't even know where to go. Anywho, let me be a professional. I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who this is, well, you're about to find out. Why? Because we have the one, the only Mr. OJ McDuffie.
Wow. That was awesome. That was awesome, Miss Phins. I love that. How you doing this morning?
Oh, alive and kicking. Can't complain.
I know that's right. I didn't know. So you every morning, huh? Every weekday morning, huh? You get it in every morning, huh?
Every morning, I try to give our Dolphins, content so that way they can wake up while they're driving to work or driving the kids to school. So yeah, I mean, why not? I figured start your morning bright and early with some awesome Dolphin stuff and
I
news.
know that's right. And I love the positivity and the message, man. That's what it's all about. The world could use a lot more of that. And, if we give people a little joy this morning, right?
Exactly. But oh man, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I was telling guys, the truth is, the second he came on camera, I started teasing. I'm like, sir, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be just like this the entire time because I'm like, oh my gosh, he's
That's
on
what's
my
up.
show.
That's what's up, of course.
Oh man, but when you mentioned me on your tweet of because I didn't know that the Dolphins actually took the picture from last year's garage sale and used it this year, and a bunch of people messaged Miss Phins, you're famous. I'm like, what do you mean? And then I see the picture and I'm like, oh my gosh! And then you replied to it. I'm like, this not happening.
Oh, that's so good. Man, that's so good. I'm loving it. I'm definitely loving it.
Oh man, it was awesome, but I love it. I almost feel like this might be like a two-way interview.
It might be. I mean,
But
I do it on the side,
I know. So look, I gotta ask you. I know that you went to Penn State, obviously. If you don't know the accolades, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenal athlete. You're from Ohio. Wow. What was it to go from like the cold in Ohio to go all the way down here to Miami, sunny and bright South Florida? Was that a huge change for you, or did you like the change when you got drafted?
It was a blessing. Are you kidding me? Look, I still live down here in sunny South Florida, and I'm not going back to Ohio unless I absolutely have to. I love my peeps in Ohio, but living down here was truly a blessing. When I first came out of out of Penn State, I really wanted to go close to home. I wanted to play in Cleveland maybe or in Cincinnati or being at Penn State, play at Philly or play at Pittsburgh. But when I got Warm, Dan Marino, and and Don Shula, man, that was a blessing. I haven't left. I mean, once I got drafted down here, I knew this was going to be my forever home. That's what it's been so far.
But I'm glad you mentioned that because I have a quote here that you said. Actually, when you got drafted, is I got one phone call and it was from the Dolphins and it was from Don Shula, and it was probably the best phone call I ever had in my life. So, can you walk us through how that moment right there, you waiting to get a call and then you get that call? Like, what went through your mind right then and there?
Yeah, so the draft's a lot different now than it was back then. Our draft started at noon on Sunday afternoon, and now it's a big event on Thursday, moving all the way through the weekend. The way they do things now, which is amazing. I mean, it's amazing how the NFL. I was talking, I think Bob Greasy, I think he got a telegram, and that's how he knew he got drafted in the first round by the Dolphins. That's how things have changed. But it's like so. That weekend was like Penn State's big spring game weekend in April. And so I was at Penn State the whole time, just kicking it. I knew that finally I was going to realize my dream on Sunday, hopefully at some point on Sunday. And so I was at Penn State kicking it hard with some of my fellas. I had a couple bucks in my pocket already. So it was nice to finally be at Penn State with some money in my pocket and, and having a good time. And I got up that morning and I drove all the way back to Cleveland just to get ready for the draft. And so when I got back for the draft, I was tired as hell. I'm not even gonna lie. And we did a good job the night before. And like I said, the draft started at noon, and I knew I wasn't gonna get drafted anywhere before 20. That's just the way the analytics were. I wasn't gonna get drafted anywhere before 20. So I got home and to my mom's house, and I laid on the couch and I took a nap. Honestly, I took a nap because I knew I had at least a few hours to kind of rest. And I thought I was going 22nd pick to San Diego, and that didn't happen. And then 23rd pick, I knew they didn't need a receiver. And 24 didn't need a receiver. And the Dolphins didn't need a receiver. I mean, hell, we still had Duper and Clayton. They had just picked up Irvin Fryer and Mark Ingram. So I said, well, there's no way I'm going to Miami. And sure enough, I get the one phone call, and it's Don Shula, and he asked me, like, would you like to be a Miami Dolphin? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'd like to be a Miami Dolphin. Are you kidding me? We were just down here playing a bowl game against Stanford. So I love South Florida already. And then 4 months later, I get a chance to come back here forever. It was just truly a blessing, man. And Coach Shula couldn't have been nicer. It was just an awesome feeling because at that point, my mom and I grew up with just my mom. We had realized our childhood dream of me making it to the league, and that was that call that finally, my first real job was coming, and we'd realized our dream, and we were. Obviously, on the path to hopefully some big things and make a couple bucks along the way.
That's awesome. That's phenomenal, honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, to think that to go from Telegram to, waiting till Sunday to then you have, nowadays, like you say, the 3-4 day event, it's insane. It's like a whole thing now. It's like now you have to plan and go and fly. It's amazing the way that they have it set up now to see that evolution. It's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see here, because I was looking at some of your stuff and I thought, man, being that you were a rookie and playing with Dan Marino, knowing full well who you have as your quarterback, what was that journey for you? Seeing how we have, a young quarterback now with Tua and him getting acclimated with the veteran receivers and then the rookie receivers. What was that for you with Dan Marino?
Yeah, it was It was very interesting, with Dan Marino. Obviously, coming out of college, Dan had already been in the league for, I want to say, about a decade at that point. So, in high school and in college, I'd already known, of course, of Dan Marino. Who didn't? I mean, he's the baddest dude out there at that point. I mean, what guy can sell isotoner gloves in South Florida? That tells you how bad Dan was. You know what I mean? Selling winter gloves in South Florida, and it worked out pretty well for him. But also, we're playing Madden, growing up, playing Madden in college. And of course, you're using Dan Marino a lot of times when you're playing Madden. And so to finally be in a locker room with that guy, he was bigger than life at that point. It was actually, eye-opening, the fact that I was in the same, at the same level in terms of being in the NFL with a guy like Dan Marino, and of course a bunch of other guys that were in that locker room. And but initially, though, Dan and I, we had this Penn State thing going on. We didn't like each other. We don't like each other's colleges. So it took Dan a little bit of time to warm up to me, but once he did, man, it was on and popping with us. We had a great rapport, great relationship. We still do to this day. And he's one of my really good friends that I played with. So think about it. You're a wide receiver. You're coming from Penn State. You get Dan Marino as your quarterback. I mean, like I said earlier, man, truly blessed.
That's awesome. Because if you think about it, because he went to Pitt, so it makes sense that you guys would, not be too happy with each other's colleges.
No, not at all. We still don't like that.
But you know what? I gotta ask now that both of you guys are retired, obviously. Now let's move forward real quick in time. How is your relationship now with him? Now that you guys are retired, like how's that bond? Still there?
Oh, we have a great relationship. We really do, man. Saw him about a week ago at camp. It's like we don't miss a beat ever. I've done a couple events with him. So we have a great relationship. Matter of fact, all the alumni down here have a great relationship. Mr. Ross and Tom Garfinkel, they and Nat Moore, they do a great job of keeping us involved in the community. And so we run into each other like a lot of alumni all the time. And when Dan's available, he's there as well. And then you can call him for about anything, man. I had a couple situations where, I needed him to come to an event, my bowling event that I was doing back in the day or things like that. And he's readily available for his former teammates. So, yeah, our relationship is solid as hell, and I love Dan. That's my dude.
Man, that's awesome. You know what? It's my brother right now. He's free safety right now, and he goes to school in South Carolina, one of the schools in South Carolina. So he's like, for me now as his big sister, I'm like, I kind of get to see how the college players are dealing with, the transfer portal and all that stuff. And do you feel like it was easier being a football player coming into the league back then than it is now? Or how do you see that dynamic, from a college player?
Yeah, I think it all depends on where you went to school. I think some schools prepare you more for the league than others might. I think a lot of schools now are definitely making these guys ready to go out there and play. You can tell by how many rookies play right away, because I think the colleges are starting to, to adapt. Actually not the colleges, the NFL are starting to adapt to more college style football. Pistol, shotgun. Before, when I got in the league, Danny was always under center until third down. Then he went to shotgun. But nowadays, it's like it can be first, second, fourth down, and guys are in pistol or shotgun. And that's kind of the same thing they run, at the high school and college level. Obviously, with more detail when you get to the league. But I think these guys are more pro ready than they've ever been. Their workout programs, their all season programs, I think have got them ready. They're bigger, stronger, faster. So I definitely feel like these guys that are coming out of college, if they did the right thing in college and they studied their playbook, because that's the thing about it. So many guys have such great talent, but if you're not willing to get in that classroom and get in that playbook, then it does no good, because it's a very, very smart league. There's a lot of guys out there that are really intelligent, and you're not just going to win by your natural ability. You got to win with your brain a lot of times. And that's what I thrive myself on. Look, I'm 5'10", 185 pounds when I played. Wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest, but you're not going to beat me in the classroom when it comes to, going against the defender, and so that's part of it. So I think a lot of these guys, if they've been doing the work in the classroom as well as on the field, they're going to translate very well to the next level in the NFL.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know what? And I like that because you hear it a lot from what after the draft from the rookies, and then you see them in training camp, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't like college." You know, it was you. It's different out here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
well, what do you expect? Like,
right.
obviously.
Yeah,
So
it's your job now. You know,
exactly.
you don't realize you go in there at 7 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 in the morning, and you're leaving there at 5 or 6 in the evening. You know, it's not like in college where you got classes mixed in. You got a certain number of hours you can practice during the week and things like that. No, 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 no. This is your job, and we spend about a couple hours on the field, but the rest of us in the classroom in meetings, watching film, walkthroughs, all kinds of different things that you never imagine as as a kid in college. But when you get to a certain level, in the pros, you realize this is my day job right here. And it's like anybody else. They wake up, go to
Mm-hmm.
work for 8, 9 hours, and they go home. That's what it's about.
Exactly. No, I love that because that, it just to me, and I think you're right. Those colleges that do prepare them, not just developing their natural abilities, but also prepare them to be professionals. I think they do translate over into the league, and you can kind of tell, like you said, by those guys that are ready to play right away. Which is, I mean, it's been pretty awesome in the last few years. I gotta ask because to me, it's interesting as a wide receiver. Um, I feel like the playbook has changed. The general playbook of football has changed from, different decades and things like that. Now being, I feel like, more complex. They're playing Madden at this point,
Right, right.
out there. If you had to take your team, because I know you were in that sweet spot between the middle and towards the end of the Marino era. If you had to take your team, how you guys played and things like that, and boom, fast forward them into nowadays football, how do you think you guys would do?
I think we do really well. One thing that we know, especially about this Dolphin team, is that Tua does a great job of getting the ball out quick. He reads coverage really fast. We have some guys like Irvin Fryer and Mark Ingram that are super fast. We got a tight end and Keith Jackson that could play in today's game because of the way he played. He blocked, run routes, catch the rock really well. Guys like Terry Kirby in the backfield, got running backs that can catch the ball and run the ball as well. So I think our team, and you mentioned, before we got on, we talked about Richmond Webb. Richmond
Mhm.
Webb could definitely play today, and still watch Danny's, backside, his blind spot, and Keith Sims and all those guys that played for us. So I think our offense would translate well. Look, you know what Danny did in the mid 80s when he, threw 48 touchdowns. And, you think Danny wouldn't throw for 60 touchdowns and, 6,000 yards now, the way the game is
Probably
played.
7.
He feels that way as well. And I feel like that too. The fact that, he gets the ball out quick, he reads coverage very well. I think our offense would translate very, very well in today's game. And we ran routes. These guys, I mean, some of them run routes, but for the most part, they run the areas and things like that. We ran routes, man. You got one-on-one opportunities. You got to beat your guy, or you got a double team. You take two guys and let somebody else beat their guy. It was like, it was real good continuity when it came to our offense, and sophisticated to a point. Whereas, we knew exactly where the other one was going to be, and when we need to be there.
Man, that's I love it because see, I have had this argument with people where I have to tell them, I'm like, guys, you cannot compare today's football to back in the day when it's not even the same rules. You
Right.
know what I mean? I mean, and I've always said this: Dan Marino was doing 5,000 yards when everybody averaged 3,100.
Right.
Like it's not even our receivers were getting so many receptions. It's not even fair. I feel like, and now you can't even touch the quarterback.
Right.
Imagine you, like you look at a quarterback, they're already giving a
Right.
penalty.
Yeah.
Imagine you guys nowadays. I'm like, it's insane, to put it over here. But even though they have new rules and we have new athletes and new equipment and all that good stuff, do you personally, as a player, where do you see the trajectory of football? Do you think it's a better product and overall safety for the players and things like that? As a player yourself, since you deal with it.
Yeah, definitely. Safety is definitely better. It's paramount that you protect these guys, especially the quarterback. Nobody wants to see Dan Marino's backup. Nobody wants to see, you know, Tom Brady's backup or Peyton Manning's backup. So they started putting the rules in to protect those guys. And of course, these owners pay these guys a lot of money, and they don't need them on the sideline when they need to have them out there on the field. Justifying the ticket prices and the hot dog and beer prices. And so I definitely think the league has done a much better job. And people always want to say, "Well, put flags on it." Well, you know what? Evolution is real, in my opinion. I think these guys are definitely bigger, stronger, faster, and the game is getting, was getting a little dangerous. And if you played our style of rules, like the rules that we play with, it'd be a lot more injuries and a lot more catastrophic injuries, I think, in the game. So I don't think these guys are softer. I think they're better athletes for most of the positions out there. I think wide receivers are always going to be great athletes because they are obviously the best athletes on the football field, as we both know. Wide receivers are. It's not even a question.
It's not even a question.
They all know
no.
too. They all
exactly.
know too. So, but you see some of the other guys, the offensive linemen that are running 4.7, 4.8, defensive linemen, that are 300 pounds. They don't look it, but they run. So you're creating an atmosphere where people can actually get hurt because of the size and speed of these guys. So you have to find a way to protect guys, and I think they do a great job. Even wide receivers, now you can't even touch a wide receiver anymore. We
Seriously.
got mugged. We got mugged.
I don't know how you guys did it. I don't know how you guys. I mean, I'm talking. Looking back at some of the highlights, I'm like, how do these guys even play?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing like one-handed catches that you're like, that's an impossible catch. Like you don't even see that nowadays. The type of catches you guys used to do because it was just insane. You literally are dragging two guys and somehow Dan still got to the ball.
Danny will give it to you. Danny will give it to you.
My God, that's why I always astonished. For me, I grew up watching the 2000s. Like my guy was Jason Taylor, because and Zach, because that's who I grew up watching.
Right.
And obviously after that, Cam Wake and things like that. I'm a defensive girl. I love defense, but only because I like to see the clash. The Titans. But who as a wide receiver, who did you dislike playing against? Or like, what team was the one team that you're like, I can't stand playing against this team or that defense? Like, what defense was that?
I hated the whole AFC East. I really did. I couldn't stand the Jets. I still hate the Patriots. Of course, the Bills. I mean, damn, we hated those guys. And they gave us fits in the 90s. Hell, I still hate the Colts, and they're not even in our division anymore.
Exactly, the Colts too.
Yeah, they're not even in our division anymore, and I still can't stand their ass either. So, I think the older I got, first it was Buffalo. Buffalo was tough to deal with. They went to 4 Super Bowls in a row in the 90s when I was playing for the Dolphins. And then I had to deal with, guys like Ty Law, later in my career who became a pain in my butt. So it's like it just never stops. The NFL is one of those leagues where you don't have a weekend off. No matter who you're playing, you're going to get somebody that is a pro. Not in college where you got a bunch of guys that you're playing against where, a few of them might go pro, and maybe you got a cornerback that has no chance of going pro that you're playing against in college. When you're in the league, everybody's a pro already, and they're something tough to deal with. So like I said, that Buffalo defense at first, and then dealing with Ty Law and that New England defense afterwards, Bill Belichick. Yeah, those were some tough times, man. But it was fun. It was fun to strategize. It's fun to go out there to go to battle and see who came out. And you saw the New England run, and it kind of started towards the end of my career.
That's I know. And taking a look at that, I think it's kind of cool seeing from a player standpoint because you guys literally see that that vision right then and there. It's funny. I wrote that. I'm like, as far as the locker room wise in your career, who was the biggest prankster in the locker room? Like the biggest prankster that always had something up their sleeve.
Oh man, they're cute. Louis Oliver was hilarious. I mean, he was funny. Him and Jarvis Williams, who God rest his soul, those two safeties from Florida. I mean, they had jokes.
I got to meet him. Yeah. He came in last year for the training camp, Louis Oliver. It was awesome meeting him. He was great.
That was my guy too, man. And here's the thing about it, those two. I'm gonna tell you this, you couldn't get on the plane without having a tailor in your back pocket. You better have a tailor. If you came on the plane dressed any old kind of way, oh man, you got it. And the rookies, the young guys were all the way in the back of the plane, so you got every veteran as you walk down the, if you walk down the aisle on the plane, man, they gave us the business, man. And they like right away, me and Terry Kirby said, all right, we got to get a tailor, man. We can't be wearing the same stuff that we wore on road trips in college when we didn't have any money, blue blazers, khakis, we couldn't get away with that anymore. And so that was Lewis and Jarvis, where they gave you the business coming down the aisle on the road trip. So, but Lewis was great, man. He's a great teammate. But boy, if you didn't bring it, if you didn't bring it style wise or whatever, man, he was going to give it to you. So he's probably the biggest one.
Wow, that's awesome. You know what? I would say that's interesting because you get to hear different stories from different players. So it's kind of cool how you guys had those different experiences overall. As far as for your teammates, who would you say was more like, as you felt like when you got into the league, you felt like, oh my God, I've known you my entire life. Like your favorite player that you literally felt like, oh my, we're brothers. I know you guys are abandoned brothers, but like that one guy that was like, oh, came out the womb together. Like, who was that for you?
Yeah, my absolute, it was funny because this guy I'm gonna mention didn't even start off in Miami. He started off in Tampa, but we played against each other in college. Went to UM. We played against each other twice, and they beat us twice. And then we met at Combine personally. We didn't like each other still at that point. He got drafted to Tampa. I got drafted, obviously, to Miami. And then we picked him up in in the all season. And his name's Lamar Thomas. That's my guy. Lamar Thomas is my dude, man. One of my best friends. Still is one of my best friends. When he came to Miami, man, it's like we were, like you said, man, like we've known each other. We grew up together almost. And we became super tight. We're still super tight. And, so LT, even though, he gets a lot of flack from his former teammates because
of course,
we kind of shut him down in those two games. And I had some pretty good games against even though we lost. And so now, even to this day, I give him crap about, remember that one game you had one catch for 4 yards, L, or whatever, And, yeah, he doesn't appreciate that much, but he still loves you, boy. So we're good. We're good.
Oh man, that's awesome! You guys are hilarious, man. Skinny, look at it, skinny legs, Lamar Thomas.
yeah, he's a little thicker now. He was skinny then for sure.
That's funny. Okay, awesome. Well, you know what? Being that you get to be in the league, and we're gonna talk about now today's football, but I really want to get your players' perspective. If you had something to tell, some of these young college players that maybe they don't have all the resources to try to get themselves, in the best position, what would you say? What maybe 2 or 3 things that you can tell these young football players that are trying to make it into the league? What would you say to them and to advise them?
Well, it starts off with your work ethic and workout, how you work out. You can't really, this league doesn't take any time off anymore. Once you're done playing in January or hopefully in February for our team, you got to get right back at it and stay, it's a year-round sport now. If you don't take a year round, then somebody's going to surpass you and be better than you or outwork you or get a better look. For these guys that are trying to get in, man, it's tough. And bottom line is this: you have to do the right things in college. You can't, you see some other sports where high school kids can go play sport, in tennis or golf or even basketball if they let them anymore. Hockey, baseball, you can't do that in football. In football, you have to go through another avenue. You have to play college. You have to go to Canada. You have to do something in order to get an opportunity in the league because there's so much more growing. I told you I was 5'10", 185 when I came in the league. I left there at 5'10", 193 because I had to put on weight, muscle, because everybody was so, we call them gams, grown men, you know what I mean? And so you had to deal with that.
Gams?
Yeah, we had to deal with these gams, man. And so I think that's the whole key is like, if you can get in some of these major programs, that's the easiest route. You go to Penn State, go to Alabama, go to UM. If you can get in those, which is hard to do a lot of times, those will be your easiest route to get to the league. Otherwise, you got to go the hard route. You see the United Football League, things like that. Those opportunities are out there for a reason. You go in there and you show and prove. You always have to show and prove, and you have to be the best of your groups. When you get out there, you got to take advantage of those opportunities and the work ethic. The coaches, the attitude, all that stuff means the world, man. If you're lazy, you're not gonna get a chance in any league. If you don't work hard, you're not going to get a chance with any league. So those are the things, man. Be first in line all the time. I was always trying to be first in line. Until I got to the Dolphins, he said, "Yo, slow down, Rook." All right, I'll slow down a little bit, man, but I can't slow down that much. I'm still trying to make the team. I don't care that I was the 25th overall pick. I still have to make this team. So don't have me slow down too much, and I tell rookies that all the time, man. Don't listen to these veterans. These veterans, they're on cruise control sometimes. You can't be on cruise control. You've got to go out there and bust your tail until you get into that, that echelon, into that category of veteran. So I just think that it's all about hard work and attitude, being in the right system. We see these guys. We talked a little bit off before about these guys and these transfer portals and all this stuff. I say guys need to stick with it. You keep bouncing around. Nobody's gonna be able to find you. Stick to it. Stick with the system. And become really good at it. And then then you get your opportunity in the next level. So I mean, that's how I feel these guys get a chance. But really, it starts off with attitude and your work ethic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know what? I think it's kind of cool because you've already gone through this experience. You know what it is to have to put in that work. You know what it is to have to, go through the sweats at night and having to deal with so many other players also trying to make it like you. So I think that's some great pointers that you brought there here for the youngsters, if you will, who are trying to make it right in today's era. Let's see here. So as far as for you, when it comes to, dealing with your front office and the contracts and stuff like that, I know right now we've seen a big trend of players, being their own representation. And then you're seeing some of these giant agency powerhouses having multiple players. For you, how did that process go? Because a lot of the times the young players, they don't know the financials aspect of it and what to expect. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would not recommend representing yourself. I mean, what they say, who you represents himself as a fool for a client. There's so many nuances out there, and you got to find some guys that have really done a lot of contract law. There's so many different things that you have to worry about. All you do really is what you should do is sit there and say yay or nay to the contracts. Act like you're the good guy, make your agent the bad guy, even though you could be the bad guy in the background saying, nope, that's not going to work. Are they tripping? No, heck no, I'm not doing that. That's too little, whatever. Let the agent say that, and you sit back and be like, yo, I'm trying to get into camp. I can't wait to get to work. My agent says that it's not a good deal for us, even though you're the one really pulling the strings, but he's the one that's knowledgeable, in the contract law. And pretty much, you see how it all shakes out. You saw the quarterback money start to show, and then all of a sudden we got to pay two. So we got to pay two of the money that, these quarterbacks are making. You see the wide receiver starting to make money. All of a sudden Tyreek say, yo, I'm number one guy in the league, so we got to make sure Tyreek gets his money. It's just the way it is, but pretty much it's slotted. And they'll let you know how they feel about you at that point. If they feel like you're worth the money, they'll pay you. If not, then you'll move on to somebody else that will. People always talk about, well, that guy's not worth that. That guy's not worth that. Well, you know what? You're only worth what somebody's willing to pay you. If they're willing to pay you that type of money, that's what you're worth. That's what your worth is. And so, it's like, so anyhow, back to what you're saying, man, let the agents be the bad guys. And you act like, the great guy to the Dolphin community and say, yo, I'm trying to get into camp. My agent says it's not a good idea. And then you move on from there.
That's smart. Exactly. Have that little buffer,
right?
To be able to go ahead
and you don't have the time to do all that. You don't have time to negotiate. You got to, like we talked about, you're out there working out, trying to stay in shape. All your agent does all day is contracts. Let him sit in the office. Let him be on the phone all day for you, doing that work. That's what you're paying for.
That's awesome. Now let's do it after you guys retire, because that's another, we hear it all the time. Players, how do you go through so many millions? Because they don't know how to deal with the financials. So what would you say is a good strategy for players who are already in the league or even looking to get into the league, but then, trying to financially plan for them? I mean, obviously this is for entertainment purposes, YouTube and everybody here. We're only talking about, entertainment purposes.
Yeah. I'm definitely not.
We are not licensed to anything.
Right. Definitely cannot give you any real advice about how to handle your money. That's for sure. today's guys are making forever money. We didn't make forever money. People think that you make forever money. People think $1 million back in '93 could last you all the way till 2024, or it's ridiculous. If you do the math, I think everybody will make $1 million total. But if you don't have anything else going, then it's going to be a problem. I can't. I would do the math right now, but I can't carry the one on my phone right now. But anyhow, so I just think that nowadays with these guys getting these monster signing bonuses, these monster guarantees, that they should be set up for life, and they should never have to worry about things like us. We talked about the Telegram with Bob Greasy. I mean, those guys played football in the fall and they worked another job, insurance or car salesman or whatever.
I know, that was crazy.
In the spring, they had to have a second job. Even a lot of our guys, didn't make enough money, to actually play football only. They had to start working on another career afterwards. Guys like Dan Marino, they made a lot of money. All the quarterbacks they made a lot of money way back in the day. And but they continue to make money though too. They're smart with it. Most of them are pretty smart with it. Nowadays, guys, I mean, if they can't take their $30 million signing bonus and act like it doesn't exist, considering they'll make probably $8-9 million a year on top of that, it's unbelievable. The amount of money they make, but good for them though. I mean, we're talking about how we made good money when we thought we were making great money. But you talk to some of the guys on the 72 team, like I talked to Dick Anderson, he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he said something like they bumped his salary up to $13,500 a year the next year because of that. Like, you start thinking about that. These guys are making that every minute now.
Oh my goodness.
I was looking at Tua's money. I mean, here's one thing. We don't talk about anybody's money. We talk
keep
pocket,
exactly.
But I'm just doing the numbers on Tua. He makes like, $2.3 million a game now, whereas you're talking about a guy that made 13.5, for the whole season.
Making $200 a game. Like, it's
exactly right.
That's why it's it's also relative to, the cost of living was way cheaper. So if you take all of that into consideration, it's still astronomically huge right now, but back in the day, it's just interesting how you see those documentaries, which we're gonna talk about it again, but you're seeing the things from back then, and they did have to get other jobs, and they did have to find something else to do, which I thought it was crazy. So what did you do after
real quick, Ms. Phins, the game has never been more popular either. The game has taken over as America's game, America's pastime. It really has. Back then it was all baseball. The game has never been more popular with some of the things that are going on. And really, for me, I think it started with fantasy football. I think fantasy football made football super popular with the women. You know what I mean? When they started getting involved in fantasy football, these offices, you got accountants that never watch football, but they got a league in their office. You got, doctors and nurses have a fantasy football league. And so the popularity has grown so much, the interest has grown so much that means the money goes up. TV wants to have, look, how many networks have football games now in the NFL? Before it was like ABC, NBC, ESPN. Now you got Peacock, you got Prime Video, you got all these different places that are having these games because the game has gotten so popular, which means the money's going to increase for these guys, which is, they've earned it. The popularity is incredible. Everybody talks about the Taylor Swift effect and why Taylor Swift did the NFL a solid.
What do you mean?
Her services for free. You know what I mean? In the NFL, all of a sudden they got 300 million more followers or whatever it might be. Man, please. She's great for football, and I appreciate her service. I know the guys do as well. So, I mean, it's the popularity. It's off the root. It's off the charts right now, and I think it's just such a fun sport to watch.
That's awesome. It's funny because a lot of people didn't like her, being at the games. Why they show her so much? I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm a super Swiftie. Like, I love Taylor Swift. I grew up with Taylor Swift pretty much. Yeah. So it's like, for me, I'm like, why are you guys so mad? Like, whatever. She's popular. I don't get it. Like, we're here to watch football. I get it.
She gets like 15 seconds of airtime a game, and I mean, they're so like, I don't know what I just don't get it, man. People worry about the wrong damn things. Is my thing. You know what I mean?
Yes. This is live. This is not a recording. Michael K. Michael K. is one of our resident Bills fans. He's like, Miss Phins, if this is live, give us a thumbs up. Yes, this is OJ McDuffie. He's really here, guys. And
I
the
love it.
juice is loose. Absolutely. So,
Sure, for sure.
oh my gosh. But no, you know what? It's funny that you say, sometimes, like, for example, in the WNBA, you have Caitlin Clark. I don't know if
Mhm.
you're following or anything like
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
As a young girl, my dream was to be a WNBA player, and then my dad was like, okay, that's great. What's your backup?
Right.
So we worked
Yeah.
on that. But
Yeah.
as far as, for a while, I stopped watching the WNBA until the last couple years ago, seeing her coming into the league and look how massive it is.
Yeah.
It five drupled. I don't even know how to say that properly, but
Right. I
it
got what you're
five
saying.
drupled. Like
It's grown like
everybody's watching it.
160% viewership increase. The thing about it really started with them in college,
Mm-hmm.
with Iowa playing LSU, with Iowa playing South Carolina, and what Dawn Staley's
Exactly.
doing in South Carolina, man. You know what I mean? The popularity was so immense, and it really started with Caitlin because they wanted some rivalries. They needed some type of rivalries, and they had them the last few years when it came to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and South Carolina, doing what they were doing, and of course it's going to move to the league. And when you got to move the bigger arenas because she's a rock star, and and what you do when you have her and everybody starts paying attention to her, you really realize how good the rest of the league is. The
Exactly.
rest of the league has been doing that, and that's why I think some women were upset about what was going on, but they should be happy that she's there, making them, getting their visibility out there. I mean, she's making, when she makes money for everybody, it's going to trickle down, man. Popularity games, like we talked about the NFL, popularity of the game is going to make everybody make some money. So
That
don't
TV
hate,
money.
appreciate,
It's funny because I was watching Gilbert Arena, and I know, guys, we're talking about Caitlin Clark. You'll be all right.
Right.
He was saying back in the day, like the talent is there, yes, but if nobody's seeing it, it doesn't happen.
Correct.
Did that tree really fall in the wood if nobody heard it? So don't be mad that finally you're getting eyeballs. Back in the day, you were scraping for crumbs to try to get deals.
Right.
Now she obviously can't get all the deals. But now loaves are falling off, and you're able to get loaves, not little crumbs.
Right.
And like you said, a rising tide lifts all boats. And
Correct.
the same thing when you have, and I think now NFL is realizing that, even though it's huge, you see how much they're pushing, with the college football game coming out, and bringing that into it as well. You can see it translating to the football, how they're really trying to push the college to grow that because they know it will translate really well in the professional league.
Yeah.
So to me, it was
there's nothing bigger than college football. There's nothing bigger than college football. I mean, college football is, I mean, it's bigger than NFL, as we both know. We're looking at 120 teams compared to 32. You've got Power 4 conferences now, and you got teams that want to join other conferences because the money is so big in these big four. It's amazing. The NFL is smart for piggybacking off. I just saw the Raheem Mostert commercial the other day about NCAA rocking his Purdue stuff. And he was at, and he was with Big Williams from the Jets with his Alabama shirt on. So I love the fact that they're using these pro guys that. And really they could use the NCAA guys with this NIL money. They could use both, But it's good that they've got these pro guys that are working, in the college game. It's going to uplift both sides.
Exactly. So I think it's just even more opportunities for them. And it's interesting because I had this conversation with somebody else. Since you were a college athlete, and I only want to take a couple minutes, but the NIL, I think it's great. But me personally, I think to keep that I'll say innocence, but to keep the amateur aspect of it, to me personally, I would have them still get all that money, but put into a trust after they graduate. Yeah. You know what I mean? To me, that's how I would do it. So that way you can still keep the integrity of them being amateurs, even though they're still earning their money, they're still getting their NIL deals and all that. And the fact that the NC2A makes billions of dollars every single year, to me, every student should be able to get a scholarship, no matter what sports they play. I mean, obviously we know football carries, basketball carries, but with the billions that they're making, every student in D1, D2, D3 should be able to get a scholarship. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah,
Because you
well,
were a
a
college
lot of
athlete.
schools don't. Yeah, a lot of schools don't make that type of money. They really don't. There's so many. There's so many bills that they have to pay. The ticket. Like there are a few schools that can carry that type of weight. And then a lot of times the football program might carry it, or like you said, the basketball program. But Penn State has like 31 varsity sports, and we're the only ones in basketball that make money. The rest of them lose money, and so we pay for all those other ones. So. And even our wrestling program, our wrestling's won like 11 out of the last 13 national championships, and they don't make any money. So it's just like in terms of like when it comes to that, I wish they could give all these guys some money. And going back to what you're saying about putting that money away, most of us come from broke backgrounds, and so any chance we get a chance to make a couple bucks, we're gonna need it. They do have Pell Grants and things like that, but if your name, image, and likeness can be used by the NCAA to make a bunch of money, why shouldn't you get a chunk of that?
I agree.
And they do. The NCAA game is back now because these guys fought it, and now they're back because now they're able to pay these guys the money that they deserve. Like I always use the example of back in the day, if you saw a left-handed quarterback at for Florida wearing number 15 with no name on the back, killing people in NCAA football, who is it? We all know that's Tim Tebow, but Tim Tebow wasn't getting any money off of that, And so I just thought it was only right. I wish they could regulate the amount of money they make. I wish they could make them put part away. Maybe some universities do. If you're making, say, $100,000, 50 of it goes away. You can use 50 for, whatever you might want, My problem a lot of times in NIL stuff is, what is these guys' motivation to get to the league? My motivation was to make money. My motivation was to play professional ball. If you're already making a lot of money, what is your motivation anymore? And so my motivation was like, we got to get out of poverty. Not that we were in poverty at that. I grew up in poverty. Then my mom got a really good job in Cleveland, Ohio, and we went to more closer to middle class. But we were poor as hell growing up. So that was why my dream was, I got to get out of it. We got to get out of this, even though I didn't realize how bad it was until we moved out of Atlanta. We lived in a bad spot right here. But I just worry about their motivation anymore when they're making that kind of money in college. What's going to happen when they go to the pros. We got some guys, even this past year, that went to the draft that said they can make more money in college than they can in the pros, and they were debating whether they're going to go pro or stay in college, So it's a very interesting dynamic. I wish they could control a little bit more, but I'm happy these guys are finally getting paid a little bit.
I agree, but that's what I say, and I think that more of it should be the NC2A paying the students, and as far as when I say the scholarship wise, because they make billions. Like, what do you have those billions for? Like, I don't, what do you? Where does that money go? What is it being used for? You know what I mean? They should be able to go ahead and still the NC, not just the university, but I mean the NCAA, like. What are you making all that money for? Because where does it go?
Greed.
Wow. We know this. But, to show that it's actually being used, in my opinion, the NC2A should be the one paying the scholarships to these schools for these athletes to go. You know what I mean? And so every athlete in every sport. And then to make it, that's why I said to make it more, they still are amateurs, to make sure they get all that money, with their NIL, but they have it in a trust that once they graduate, they're able to go ahead and touch. And I still feel like it's a best of both worlds in my opinion. So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I gotta ask, man. We're up here. I know. We have the Dolphins. We all kind of, I don't know if you've seen the Twitterverse. We all kind of freaked out a little bit when we saw two particular players not being brought back, and Nick Needham and Blake Ferguson. And we kind of like, what? Like, I can't believe it. Like, I even sang, I'm like, it's so hard. Like,
right.
So, but finally they're back. Thank God. But what is your opinion right now of the team, where you see it being this year? What are you most excited about this year? What we can do and where we can go?
Yeah, I'm excited about a lot of things about this team. I'm really excited about our offense, of course. You look at Mike McDaniel, our head man, coming back and having, the same um, weapons that he had before, and adding a guy like Jonnu Smith. When you've got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and of course Tua quarterback, and you bring Raheem Mostert back and Devon Achane back in the backfield, and you go out and draft a guy like Jalen Wright. I think that offense is so dynamic. Bring in Jonnu Smith. You got Durham Smythe as well, but I love Julian Hill as well as our tight end, as a tight end. So I think the fact that you've got an offense that's been around for 3 years now, the same play caller, same quarterbacks, a lot of the same weapons that have been in the system for the whole time, it just makes it so much more dangerous. We were already dangerous the last 2 years, really dangerous last year. I can't imagine how dangerous we can be this year with that offense. And then you go defensive side, and Anthony Weaver, what he brings to the defense. I mean, we've got some guys now that, I think we got more dogs out there on defense. I mean, you bring back Zach Sealer, you go out and get Calais Campbell. Hopefully we get Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb back healthy at some point. But David Long and Jordan Brooks at linebacker, outstanding athletes that can run. And then you get better at the secondary. We love Xavier Howard. Of course, we love Xavier Howard.
Of course.
But then, when you get Kendall Fuller to play opposite of Jalen Ramsey, I mean, you got, Jordan Poyer opposite of Javon Holland. I mean, that's a hell of a secondary as well. So yeah, it's I think they've done a great job. And I think they've also created some depth, Some of the guys that we have, like a rookie in Storm Duck who might get some opportunities to play this year. I mean, that's gonna be a lot of fun to see what happens, because we're gonna need guys. How about a guy like Ethan Bonner who
I was gonna say Ethan Bonner.
Tyreek was talking about him last year and how fast he was, and you see him out there on the field and they say, hey, this guy can actually play some football, So I think they've done a great job with depth on both sides of the football. You said it best. We let Blake go and we brought him back. I think, some numbers game. That's what let them handle. The front office handles all that stuff. We knew we had to have a long snapper, and we know nobody else was working in camp, so we knew they had to find a way to get him back somehow. I just think they've done a great job of building this team, and it's going to continue to get better. And sometimes you got to let guys go. You have to let Christian Wilkins go. You have to let the Robert Hunts go, because you got to, because of the money. The salary cap is like that, and you got to make some tough decisions. And most teams, not just the Dolphins, prioritize premium positions. We talked about it. Wide receiver got paid. Receiver got paid. Quarterback got paid. Corners are going to get paid. Defensive ends are going to get paid. Tackles are going to get paid. That's just the way the game is now. Back in the day, it was running backs were getting paid. Quarterback, middle linebackers are getting paid. That's not the way the game is anymore.
It's true. It's 100% true. And for me here, as far as this new team that we have, we've all been saying it, this O-line, you know what I mean? We're kind of nervous. But Chris Greer for the last 2 years has said, you guys are more worried than we are about the O-line. President Butchberry, I trust. I love Butchberry. To me, I gave him last year the Coach of the Year award, because to have the most combinations on that O-line and still have the production that we did offensively to be the number one offense in the league, come on, man. Shout out to him. So I trust him with whomever we give him, but I'm sweating bullets again. So talk to us, man. What about this O-line? Like,
yeah. You know what? The O-line is going to be the O-line. Tua made a comment the other day about it doesn't really matter who's in front of him. It does. It really does matter who's in front of him.
Yeah, it does.
We'll get Teron back, and of course, we drafted Patrick Paul, who's going to be a superstar, I think, in this league. Big, strong, athletic dude that still learning really to play the position at this level. I love picking up Aaron Brewer, true center. Center, he should be back anytime. I know he's dealing with a hand injury, so I heard it wasn't that serious of a deal. It wasn't worth putting him back out there. How about the fact that Austin Jackson has come along and he's protecting to his backside and doing a great job? Man,
it's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so I just think that we've got an offensive line. The thing we got to make sure we get is depth. We know everybody talks about Liam, but Liam is a guy that's a Swiss Army knife. He plays everywhere. You can't just get rid of a guy because he can't be successful or as good as you want to be at a position when you got a guy that can float around and play all these different positions for you. That's invaluable when it comes to offensive line, because you only dress probably about 7 of them out every game. So if you only dress 7 offensive linemen, somebody's got to be a swing man. It means he can go anywhere and play anywhere. And so Liam's that guy, and I think he's gotten better and better, and I think he'll continue to get better. But I tell you, that offensive line, I know everybody's a little worried about it.
I mean, you've seen the sweats. Like,
I see you. I see you.
oh
I see you. If they stay healthy, they will. Look, how did we rush? Look how we ran the ball last year. Look how we threw the ball last year. Everybody talks about this old line like it was trash, but we still had, over 1,000-yard rusher. Achan probably could have gone over 1,000 if he had more opportunities. We had, two over 1,000-yard receivers, a quarterback over 4,000 yards passing. I mean, that's a prolific offense, and it has to start up front, right? It has to.
The trenches.
Yep.
Oh man, and again, you know what? It's nervous because you almost feel like, oh God, like, yeah, we got this, but it's like, oh God, but, and then you hear some of these injuries and you're like, no, please, please. But one thing I will give Tua that I've said this since he started every single year, it's one of the things that I love. I say he goes surfing with the O-line, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing is that to me, that skill of him, work in the pocket the way that he does, you can see it progress every single year he's been here because he's had to deal with such rotating O-line.
Yeah.
And for me, that's something that is kind of cool to see. Your young quarterback being able to excel at that because we need it so much. And I think that's probably why a lot of people didn't really understand when he said it doesn't matter who's in front of me. We got this, but it really, if you take a look at it, he's kind of already proven that.
Yeah, I think he's
year.
trying to. Yeah, I think he's trying to let them know, man. I trust you all. I think that's what I get from it. I trust anybody in front of me. It's not like he's like this, and I'm like, yo, I'm the man. It doesn't matter who's in front of me. No, he's saying like I trust all these guys in front of me to be able to go out there and protect and do their job. They count on each other, man. I like the fact you say that he's so tight with all those guys. Tua really has taken his leadership to another level this year. He really has. You can see it on the field. He's living his best life right now. He's a starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. He's got paid. He's married. He's got a beautiful family. He's been way more vocal. You can tell he's more comfortable in his own skin. He even got the Brian Flores stuff off his chest the other day. I think that might have been the last thing he needed to be completely free and be able to go out there and ball for us. You know what I mean? So. Yeah,
I said the same thing. I'm like, I feel like, look, people, I feel like he had to get that last thing off his chest. And now all I said was, we need him now to just go ahead, move forward and get over this and just kind of, let's progress and get that Super Bowl, which is what we want. So I wanted to go ahead and, talk a little bit more. I know you said an hour. I don't know if you got a couple more minutes because I know
yeah. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Because you have this awesome thing, and I'm gonna pull it up real quick for our fans to see it. And you have a new version of the 30 for 30, sir. And I need you to talk to people about this. This is too awesome. So talk to us about this new 30 for 30 Miami Dolphins version. Because when I saw that, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So talk to us.
This is my man Seth Levitt, who's a true genius. He really is, man. Incredible writer, incredible with storylines, and my co-host on the Fish Tank. He has this the Fish Tank iconic piece that we're going to be doing. That was already ready to go. I think we're going to drop it next week. But it's all about the story of Danny coming back from that Achilles injury. Yeah, coming back from that Achilles injury. And, what it took for him to get back out there and all these different people that were talking about, what happened and how that game went. It's all about that game and him coming back. And it's just truly incredible, man. To hear some of the stories from, our PR guy, our equipment manager who was dealing with, the mud and everything that was going on there. To hear from Drew Bledsoe, who he was playing against in that game. To hear from the beat writers some of them were like counting Danny out. I mean, the whole piece is just so good. And we can't wait to drop it, man. So, yeah, Fish Tank Iconic, it's going to be the story of Danny's return. And it is, having Danny, I mean, he was loving talking about it, because he knows all the whispers, all the people, all the chatter about his career being over. And boy, did he go out there and have one hell of a game against New England in an open game back in '94. And we want to make sure we chronicled it. It's so much fun. And I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Oh man, I can't wait till it comes out because to me, it's so great to see you guys, and that's why I wanted to talk about it because I'm like, you guys, if you guys are new to the channel, like and subscribe to Miss Phins, thank you. But I need you guys to do me a favor and go to the Fish Tank. I was watching it this Sunday too. Aronde Gaston. I was like, this is so awesome. I got to meet him last year too in training camp.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the same guys that they come out to training camp and meet us fans. But you and Seth Levin, man, you guys have something so amazing going on, and please talk to people about it, because to me this podcast is awesome.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're about 180 episodes in, and we're just loving it, man. About to go hard now for the season, and then and then we put out 32 episodes a year, so we'll still be grinding. Keep grinding.
That's awesome. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You need to go ahead and make sure that you have Mr. OJ McDuffie here. What I know people wanted to ask you some questions. I don't know if we have some time for questions.
Yeah,
If you
sure.
wanted
We'll do a couple. Yeah.
We'll do a couple questions. Okay, cue quick. Ladies and gentlemen, put in your questions in the comment and let's see. We'll do like a little bit, a couple minutes of it. But in the meantime, while we're getting these, what would you say was your favorite episode that you thought like, whoa, this was pretty awesome over there in the fish tank?
Yeah, we've had some really incredible guests. Tua Marino, Jason Taylor, Tanning Crowder's we've had him in there a few times. He's hilarious and he's done some great work. But I think what I really enjoyed was, for the most part, my favorite one right now is probably Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips is such a great young man. That's beyond his years of age and wisdom and getting it, and in community and athleticism, and even this, his will. This guy had opportunities, man. I mean, you talk about it, concussions and a moped accident and all these reasons to quit the game of football, and hung in there. Then you look at, he comes to UM and he's, first round pick for us. And it took him a little while to get going. And once he gets going, he tears his Achilles. And he still has this positive attitude, man. And as soon as Seth and I left that interview, we're like, all right, that's my new favorite player on the team. It wasn't even a question.
That's awesome.
I love the other guys, but the rest of them, man, it's like, it was, for him, for me, that it was all about Jalen Phillips.
That's beautiful. I got a video of him for the ladies, of him at training camp last year. And oh my goodness, all I say, he's got great assets, ladies out there. Go check out my channel.
So I see you like that. Jason, you talk about Jason Taylor first. Now you talking about Jalen Phillips. I get it.
Listen, Mike Gesicki is funny. Mike Gesicki signed my boobs, sir. Okay, at training camp, my mom was there. She called him over. I was like, "Thank you, mom," because he was my favorite player. Because 8 is my favorite number. So I was like, "Please help me." She got him over, and I was like, "Sign my boob," and he actually came over and did it.
My
that was pretty
guys. Awesome. That's Penn State for you, right?
Yeah. So here it is. We got Timothy Washington say, "Mr. Juice, what's your record prediction this year for us for the Dolphins?"
Yeah,
what do you see us?
Yeah, I hate doing predictions. I think last year we went 9-7, then we went 11-6, and we've got to bump up to at least 12-5. So I think we're a better team this year, and we have a tough schedule. I was looking at schedule when I was trying to do a prediction before. I was like, damn, this schedule's tough. You think we won the Super Bowl or something?
Seriously.
But it just tells you the NFL is tough. But I think we'll go 12-5 this year, win the division, have a home game, win a home game, and then whatever happens after that happens.
Okay. So you got it. So because I was like, well, I knew people were gonna bring it in, so I was like, yeah, this is. I call the last few weeks murderer's row, so yeah. I totally get it. That's gonna be a tough stretch when you take a look at the 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's gonna be pretty tough for us. But I think that this year we have the personnel to be able to actually overcome that. So.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It is a monster schedule. I mean, but you look at it, it's really what the NFL's become. It really truly is. It's a cliche, but it is any given Sunday. You better strap it up and be ready to go, because like last year when we were playing the Titans again, they bit us on the butt last year and it hurt us. It really did. So we gotta be ready, when they come back in town to get back at them. Of course, our division is probably one of the toughest divisions, if not the toughest division in football.
Thank you.
When you talk about the Jets having Aaron Rodgers back, of course you got to talk about Buffalo and Josh Allen. And who knows with New England? New England's going to find a way to get back in the mix. They're not great yet, but they'll find a way to get back at it. So our division itself is something you got to deal with when you've got 6 games within that out of the 17. So it's going to be interesting.
I agree. I agree. That's awesome. It's Vince, Mr. OJ. What do you think our chances of winning the Super Bowl this year are? Been a fan for 35 years and still waiting.
Yeah, aren't we all? I wasn't a Dolphin fan until April of 1993, so I know I haven't seen us win a Super Bowl either. Haven't seen us go to one or didn't go to one myself. Like I said, once you get into the dance, once you get into the tournament at the end of the year, you got a chance. But I think our best chance of getting deep into the playoffs and into the Super Bowl it has to come through Miami. In order for it to come through
I
Miami,
agree.
you have to win your division. You have to win the games. Some games you're not supposed to win, and you got to win all the games you're supposed to. We've got 8 home games this year instead of 9. So if that's the case, and we have to go 7-1, 8-0, 7-1 at the worst, 6-2, and go 500 on the road in those 9 games, and that should put us around. That's not enough wins, but anyhow, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but it has to come through Miami. Our offense is, as you know, is unbelievable at home. We have to figure out a way to get home and stay through it.
Awesome. And Chef Jew, he's a great friend of the show and awesome man right there. He says, which players could you see be our dark horse this season?
Dark horse. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict that. We've got some guys that are already dynamic, and everybody knows that. I think the biggest addition for us is going to be Jonnu Smith on offense. I think they're finding a lot of creative ways to get him involved and get him the ball. And, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are going to have a lot of people paying attention to him. They get a lot of double teams. We couldn't beat them inside with the tight end position. I think now we have the guy that can go out there and win one-on-ones, creative ways of getting in the football. Wait till you see, Devon Achane is going to get way more opportunities this year, second year in the offense. If Jalen Wright gets a chance to play, he's super dynamic. So we've got a lot of home run hitters, but I think Jonnu is going to be the guy that's going to be the dark horse, is going to get more opportunities and really bring this whole offense together.
That's awesome. And we're gonna take two more after this one. OJ, would you take a coaching spot with the Phins? I thought that was actually kind of if they offered it to you.
Hell no. I enjoy.
What you mean?
I enjoy the podcasting. I do the pre and post game show, and I told you the hours we spend as players. Double that for coaching. I'm not going to be there for 16 hours a day, come home and sleep and go right back. I'm not doing it. Can't do it. I'm enjoying my life as it is down here in South Florida.
That's hilarious. Oh, man. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll tell you this. He says Malik is my dark horse. I think Malik and Jalen Wright, both of them, they were the ones that I was most excited from this draft that I think that will probably end up having really impactful seasons, as rookies for us.
What Malik's going to suffer from is that opportunities. He's going to get some opportunities in the return game, but when Jalen and Tyreek are out there, and then Malik's going to have and Barrios, I think, is going to be our third guy right now. Malik's going to have limited opportunities on offensive guys at the beginning. It could change towards the end of the season. I didn't get any opportunities at the beginning of my career on offense, for that first part of the year. And then towards the end, I got third down opportunities. And by the following year, I was pretty much starting. So it's just going to take a little time for Malik to be the guy. In order for him to be a dark horse, he needs – I'm going to need more reps from him, but we'll see what he does. He's going to be great in the return game, though.
Oh, I think so, too. Seeing him in the preseason, I was like, ooh, this young man is shifty. And I love that he can still get through those defenders on there. But, man, it's been so phenomenal, Mr. McDuffie.
OJ, Miss Phins. OJ.
Okay, Mr. OJ. I still going to say Mr. because oh, my God. I can't wait to, meet you in person, one day because I've just been, such a little kid right now. I'm like, this is so exciting. Oh, but, man, where thank you so much for coming over. Where can people find you again? I want them to go ahead and support you because I think you're doing such great things in representing the Dolphins. And I want them to go ahead and check you out too.
Yeah. So our podcast at the Fish Tank 81 with me and Seth Levitt and myself, and then of course I'm always on. I think everything. I'm not sure if I'm at OJ McDuffie or at OJ McDuffie 81. You find me either way on all the platforms. That's how I roll. So those are my things.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you again so much. Any final thing for us fans? To what are your final thoughts as far as the season and what could we expect? Give us that coach, that coach speech, to get us pumping for the season.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot to be excited about. It really is, and I think it's really important that we get off to this 2-0 start. Jacksonville on Sunday, and then Thursday right away. In 4 days, we got Buffalo on Thursday night at home. Those two home games, like we talked about, how you have to play at home. Both of these are within the conference and one within the division. Critical starting point for us, and I think they'll be ready to go.
And set the tone.
Yep, absolutely. Let them put the rest of the league on notice.
Hello, but again, Mr. OJ, see, I got it. Mr. OJ, thank you so much again for gracing us with your presence. Man, you've been amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out Mr. OJ McDuffie on the Phins Tank. You can see it on Sundays. You can see it on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm just assuming because that's what everybody always says. So
right. And Iconic coming out next week. Make sure to check out Iconic next week.
Check out Iconic. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I can't wait to see so many more that you guys are going to do. But again, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your morning, sir. And you have a great rest of your day. And hopefully you come back.
I'll be back. Right? You let me know when and we'll get it in. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, did you not see Mr. OJ McDuffie in the building? Oh, my God. That was so awesome. This was so awesome. I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Oh, man, it was such a blessing getting him to come on. I'm just so blessed, so happy. He is so, so awesome. And I have no other words, I can't wait to see him again and meet him in person. I think that's going to be super cool. But guys, hopefully you continue to like these things because this is why we're doing what we're doing over here in Miss Phins. We're trying to give you guys, really cool interviews. I'm working on some more stuff for next week, so stay tuned. But guys, you got Monday, Motivation Monday. Every Monday, you got Tool Tuesdays on Tuesday. You got in the morning, the AFC East show in the morning. And at night, you got League Wide Wednesday with myself and Mr. Color Commentary. You also got the Remix Thursday, like today, where we could do interviews. We could do a bunch of other stuff. And then Fridays, it is our game preview day, unless we play on Thursday. So next Thursday will be game preview day. Well, no. It'll be the Thursday, 2 Thursdays. You know what I mean? 2 Thursdays from now will be the game preview, and then we'll switch these two. But man, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining Miss Phins this morning. If you're just getting in and you missed out on the awesome Mr. OJ McDuffie, do me a favor. Hit the rewind button. Be kind, rewind, and watch the episode, man. He gave us such great gems. We went through a ton of stuff, with the team nowadays, with when he was playing, some great advice for young players, and so on and so forth. So if you guys can do me a favor, hit that like button. We're looking to grow the channel, guys. We want to continue to get better and continue to bring more support for the channel. And the only way I can do that is with you guys. So if you guys can help me out, that would be great. As you can see, I'm still cheesing my cheeks. It's still cheesing. Like, I just, oh my gosh. Miss Phins, imagine if you can get Coach McD to a Tyreek. Whew, that would be amazing. Are you going to the first game? Yes, I am. I will be there. There's no way I'm missing week 1 or week 2 because those were like my priorities. And I don't have for the rest of the season, maybe like a couple other ones that I do, but the first 2 and then the last one were very important for me. But man, this has been awesome, guys. So again, if you're just catching it in and you're catching the replay, thank you so much for watching. Everybody on Twitter and Twitch, do me a favor, hit that like button. Come over here to Miss Phins. Let's subscribe because I'm telling you, Um, uh, it just helps to grow the channel, and then it allows me to do even more stuff like this. One other thing before we go, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the fantasy league, ladies and gentlemen. We already got spots filling in, people in the league. So right now I wanted to go ahead and follow up with you guys and remind you, ladies and gentlemen, the third annual Miss Phins Fantasy League is on the way. Look at the champ is here. Hey, I love the confidence. Kevin Lee, thank you so much for coming through, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. We've got already half the league is already paid for and already set. And then we have a few other people that we're still waiting for as well. But ladies and gentlemen, I have, I believe, 4 more spots. If you're looking to go ahead and join the Misfits Fantasy League, it is a 12-team league. It is $40, okay? And that's the buy-in. The price is $300, okay, for the winner. So you get to, I can't do math like that fast. 7.5 times. 7.5 times. 7.5 times your money if you can win. Cruz is a champ. Well, Cruz thinks he's a champ, so we'll see. But Michelle coming through. Sorry, boys. I'm taking the W this year. I love it. Oh, man. If you need one person to get an even number, let me know. Okay, Joe, I'll put you in as a reserve if I'm still missing one. Let me write that down. Joe Reserve. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yes, it's $40 and you're able to go ahead and win $300 as a winner. Is it PPR? Yes, it is. Okay, so it's a standard ESPN PPR. I do ESPN because it's the easiest thing to do. The draft is already set. It's going to be this Tuesday coming up at 8 p.m. It's going to be live over here, Miss Phins. So keep an eye out for that because that's going to be fun. I got to set up the show and put it up there. But yes, we're going to have the draft live, and you guys, all the players are going to be live here. We're going to be able to talk about the draft itself. I know that Dean asked to do a fantasy football show tomorrow afternoon. If I were to do that, it'll be probably tomorrow afternoon around 5 that I should be able to do it. And that way we're able to go ahead and just talk strategy in case anybody has any questions and things like that. But that will probably be tomorrow afternoon. So that way you guys have it. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, and Miss Phins, how do we go ahead and do it? How do we do it? It's very simple, guys. I have it here. You can send and please do me a favor because if not, they charge like a million fees. Just put family, friends when you're sending it. But we have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. That way, because with all these fees, that means it's less for the pot. So there you go. But yes, you could do it and put it into the Cash App. It's $. It's right here. There you go. See, $ Miss Phins. Or we have Venmo down here. Or PayPal. Everything's Miss Phins. What you need to do is hit me up on Twitter. Message me on Twitter. Message me on Instagram. Or email me at Miss Phins, MISSPHINS, at yahoo.com. MissFins at yahoo.com, because I know not everybody has Twitter, not everybody has Instagram. So you guys can still email me. It's MissFins at yahoo.com. I do need the money by tomorrow. Tomorrow when I get paid. Exactly. And that's why I was going to say, I figured Friday is probably payday for most people. I'm like, if you guys can do it by Friday, that'll be great. So that way we can have everybody settled in. And if we have any stragglers, I can see exactly. The team should be set by tomorrow because I already have the link, and everybody that's paid, it's already got the link. They already set up their teams. So we want to make sure that we have everybody set tomorrow, so that way we can, when the 5 o'clock show comes, we're able to go ahead and have conversations and things like that. Thank you, Michelle. No worries. I figured, that's why I was like, no big deal whatsoever. Once you do, then I send you the link to the actual league. But yes, I believe I have 3 more spots available. If the people who told me that they wanted to, which 1, 2, 3, and that should be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have 3 spots available. So if you guys still want to go ahead and join, go ahead and do so. Like I said, it's $40. And the payout is $300. So go ahead and come through. It's gonna be fun. You guys should ask for it. Miss Finsanity won last year, so this year she's like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm like, okay, bye. She's not allowed here anymore in these streets. No, I'm just kidding. Man, Cruz is really feeling himself. Thank you for all your donations. I'll be using it in Kuwait for mine. Oh, Cruz, you're hilarious, sir. You are hilarious. But yes, everything, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, it's all Miss Phins. Even my email at yahoo.com is also Miss Phins. So go ahead, you can do it that way. Obviously, you gotta, be subscribed to the channel. Why not? And also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, because why not? So, so hit that like button, people. Hit it, please. But no, I appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Any plans to be a practice squad member on for a cameo? Any plans to have a relative of a practice squad player on for a cameo? You got jokes, sir. You got jokes. But you know what? Hey, anybody that wants to bless me and bless the channel by coming here and talking to Miss Phins and to the fans, I'll take it. I don't care who it is, honestly. So I'll take it. Thank you, Dolphin Don. Thank you, Dolphin State of Mind. That was a great interview with the legend, Mr. OJ McDuffie. Such a humble man. Love it. He's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But yes, just follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be using my winnings to go to home playoff. Man, can you imagine going to a home playoff game? I was this close. I was like, I don't know what I gotta do to get this ticket if we make it and we play at home. Oh my god. Nah. We're in the playoff. Listen, I love my family, okay? Both my parents, I love them. I love my entire family. But yeah, that's Mama Phins, which if you've gotten the pleasure, she might be coming out to another game this season. I'm trying to see if I can get another game ticket for her. But yes, so the easiest way again, by tomorrow, guys, you can message me, let me know, and that way I can go ahead and put you. We got 3 more spots, guys. 3 more spots. 3 more spots. 3 more spots. So go ahead and let us know. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys, for this draft. If I draft any Jets or Bills, they will ride the bench all season as a rule. Yes, Miss Fizz, we almost went home for a play. I know. This is my man. This is Chef Jew, you know I love you, man. That's my partner in crime right there. If I draft any Desert Bills, they will ride the bench as long as a rule. You know what, Joe? It's funny. I have a rule in fantasy football. I don't do trades. Now that I pick up guys off of waivers, I'll pick up guys that are in the bench, but I don't do trades. Like that's the way I was raised in this fantasy football streets. When my brother introduced me to it, that's when I fully got into football. for sure. OJ McDuffie was a great interview. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate. I'm really glad you guys liked it. And again, guys, I'm working on some other stuff, but you guys also have to understand these guys are super busy. So sometimes they're just not able to come. I have a couple beat writers that are in the talks to working to bring in as well. So as soon as I can get their schedules to line up, we'll bring them live. But there might be one or two that are probably pre-recorded because of their time and schedule. So that's all. Any trades, I barely do them myself, but sometimes offers can't be refused. Believe me, I've been offered some stuff, and I just no trades for me. No trades for me. I'm a purist. I'm a purist. Okay. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to give you guys an update on the fantasy football because I know that's coming up. The draft is coming up. It's on Tuesday. People, it's on Tuesday, people. And in episode 1 of season 3, episode 1 of League Wide Wednesday is this Wednesday coming up, ladies and gentlemen, at 8 p.m. Come check it out. You're going to get your previews to games, our pick'ems that myself and color commentary are doing. We're gonna be doing our impact players as well. So in case, because I know y'all love parlays and blah blah blah, then yes, you guys can go ahead and do that. Y'all come to East 12 and East 32 for Chef Juice Famous Cupcakes. P.S. I heard they're the talk of the tailgates. Well, I haven't heard. I know for a fact they are. Literally, like they're delicious and they're very delicious. And I think if you guys like what you like, you guys definitely gotta go out and check it out. Cause ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You know what I mean? It's pretty good. And in case you were wondering, this is what we mean. This is what we mean. Chef Jew, Mr. Chef Jew, and Chef Jew's Catering right there, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, baby. Yes. And you know what? Since I got you up here, why not? Why not? Hey. Come check out Chef Jew's Catering and Sweet Treats, ladies and gentlemen. Looking for a great chef to cater your next birthday, business, or office party, etc. With mouth-watering cookies, cakes, pies, and more. Then go ahead and call Chef Jew at 786-804-8096. That's 786-804-8096. Or via Facebook Messenger or Instagram at Chef Jew, J-U, Catering for more information. And mention Miss Phins to get 10% off your catering order, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Monsieur Chef Jew. So if you didn't, if you didn't see it before, now you see it now. Yeah, there you go. So let's go ahead and see what you guys got going on. You guys are very chatty this morning. Oh, look who's in the building. Mr. Cup of Color himself. How you doing, Color? Welcome. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Color's back. After his little ayahuasca retreat. I'm just kidding. He's back, so you guys should go ahead and check him out over there at the Phins Tailgate. Phenomenal. Shows, that's all I can say more than anything else. But ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Miss Phins. I am Miss Phins. I appreciate all of you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Have fun. Be kind to each other. You never know what people are going through. People could have the biggest smiles, guys, and you never know what they're dealing with. So if you could take that little second, even if somebody's treating you bad, take a second to breathe in and be kind, because you never know what kind of an impact you can do in a person's life. Also, too, I know I'm getting a little deep, but you'll be all right. You never know how many people's lives you save by just being you and being kind throughout your life. So let's continue that. Very, very, very blessed and very grateful for you guys and you guys' support of the channel. I appreciate you guys becoming members. Joe, welcome back to the membership. Man, I appreciate it. Now Color's gonna tear it. Oh my gosh, don't say that. That's hilarious. Stop it. Oh god, you guys are too much. But seriously, be kind to each other because you only get that back. You know, you reap what you sow. It's a real thing, or people call it karma or whatever. You know, be kind. You never know how much of a difference you're making in somebody's life. So if I can leave you guys with that, have fun for the rest of your day, and man, I'm a color. I'll get to Roger's surgery. I'm telling you, man, you guys got jokes. I love it. I'm out of here, guys. I got stuff to take care of. Take care. Have a beautiful day, guys. And again, thank you so much, Mr. OJ McDuffie, Mr. Use, Mr. Juice. Thank you so much for coming through, sir. It was such a blessing to have you here, and thank you guys for your great questions and your attention. That and really for being so awesome here for today's show. I will catch you tomorrow morning, guys. Yes, tomorrow morning. Okay, we got the game preview tomorrow morning. What am I previewing? The whole season, duh. I mean, hello, it's just starting. So come back. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, thank you so much for all the blessings. And I wish you guys many, 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 many blessings to you guys as well. Take care and bye-bye.